Mic check, mic check. What's up, everybody? Went to the Friday night chop, baby. Trying to get everything situated. And then we're going to do what we do. So give me one quick second. All right. That. Hit that like button, folks, on your way in. Hit the like button. All right. We're going to get it cracking. All right. Before we get into all the formalities, all the introductions, first and foremost, I posted a link in the chat. I'm going to post it again, and I will post it periodically throughout the chat. If you didn't hear, Jamie Robinson, new DB transfer from South Carolina. His house burnt to the ground last night. His mother's house, family house, they lost everything. A GoFundMe page has been started. I've already donated. Any donations I get tonight will go to that GoFundMe page. So feel free to hit that link and show up and show out, Florida State fans, for Mr. Jamie Robinson and his family. His house burnt to the ground. And let's just show some support. Let's help the brother and his family out. That's something you wish to do. Again, I'll be posting the link in the chat and periodically throughout the entire live stream. So again, tough news for him, but I believe they've already raised like $20,000. So look, Seminole Nation, show up, show out, support the young brother. It's definitely terrible news. I saw the video of they did a video around the house, and yeah, everything's pretty much a loss. So let's do what we can, if you can, of course, and support our newest, or one of our newest, Florida State players. And yes, sir, let's do that. Now that we got that out the way, what is going on, everybody? You're on 863 Seminole TV, and it's your host, POLK, a.k.a. 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 the goddamn truth. And we on that Friday night chop. And you know what we do on Friday nights. What do? We sit back, we chill. We got a few talking points actually to talk about. But we sit back, we chill. Of course, tonight, different drink tonight. Some Jack Daniels. But we sit back, relax, we grab our adult beverage of choice, and we talk about whatever we talk about, whatever the world brings, whatever comes up. We chop it up here on a Friday night. That's what we do on these Fridays. Let's hit a roll call real quick. 25 people in chat. As always, hit that like button on your way in. And if you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing. I'm only the hottest Florida State YouTuber on the net. So hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Tyler in the building, Peter in the building, Noel Productions, Noel Squad, Ray Fitty, what's up? Florida State Seminole football, what's going on? Jose Garcia, Noel Blooded, Hurricane T2Y, a.k.a. Pinecone in the building. Chad Kinsler, Brandy Franklin, Mac Will, Island Boy, Kusami Hayes, D. Thompson. Big ups to Tyler right there. Exactly my thoughts. If you haven't donated, what are you doing? No one's saying you got to give $100. If you can give the young brother and his family something, they literally just lost everything last night. Give them something. And that's that. And especially shout out to them South Carolina fans and that program for helping him out as well. Mayan King in the building. Kane Zay, Priscilla Chestnut, One Tribe, Florida State Love, Rose, Danny Valles, And there we go. That looks like everybody so far in the chat. And and of course, keep coming through and I'll keep shouting you guys out. Okay, what are we talking about tonight? First of all, before we get started, let me pour me a little bit. What's up, Polk? Got off playing Warzone to listen to you. Hey, you can play Warzone and listen to me at the same time. So don't let me stop your night, brother. Do both. That's what I do. I listen to my favorite podcasts and still play the game. So by all means, don't let me stop your groove. Don't let me stop them kill streaks. All right, pour me a little bit. I'm gonna sip. What are we talking about? All right. Flat out, we're talking about newest commitments. We're talking about the schedule. That's right. We're gonna look at the schedule tonight. We're gonna see just how this schedule fares. I think it's kind of favorable. Now, I'm not gonna lie, that back half of that schedule is gonna be a little tough. But the first half really lines up favorable to the point where FSU can find itself in those first few 5-6 games. But we're gonna go over that. We're gonna talk about the newest commit we had yesterday and a potential commit this weekend. He could pop during this channel. During this live stream, he could pop. We all know who I'm talking about, Mr. Quarterback Nico. Hold on, let me get it right. He put on his Twitter exactly how you pronounce his name. And I even told him, I said, man, I've been butchering your name. Mr. Nico, I'm gonna say it right this time. Let me get to it. So I know exactly what I'm saying. I'm talking about Mr. Nico Mark EO. I guess that's how you pronounce it. Markio. I've been calling him Marchiol, or I've been messing his name up. But when you guys know what I'm talking about, Mr. Nico Markio is going to pop here any day soon. So we're going to include him in this. And that 2022 class seems to be coming to fruition. It's looking kind of nice so far. And of course, we got a legacy commit last night. Now, before we get into all of that, I want to address the recent video I put out when I was asking you guys for some your thoughts and opinions on what you guys would like to see going forward. And I didn't expect that video to really get as much feedback as it did, but I was very pleased and surprised with the amount of feedback I got. And I want to give you guys an update on what's going to be going on here and what we're going to be doing on this channel going forward. First, the most requested thing was the call-in show. I've been working on the call-in show for a while, or at least thinking about it, but I've always wanted to do it the right way, not kind of half-ass it, so to speak. The call-in show is coming, and it's coming very soon. The only thing right now that's really stopping me from doing the call-in show is I'm trying to find the best way to, and if you got any tips, please give them to me. I don't want to give my number out there. I get enough trolls as it is. I'm not about to put my number out there. And I'm looking at ways to I know Skype has a thing where I can get a number. But I know they charge for that. I'm thinking about going through Facebook and just have people, but you'd have to add me on Facebook and you can call through Messenger and stuff like that. I know there's certain avenues, so I'm debating which way is the best way to go through it so I can get the call-in show up and running. That's the only thing really stopping me. Everything else I've got down. We're ready to get it. We're ready to get it cracking on the call-in show. So the call-in show's coming. Discord, I know you can do it through Discord. I've been researching that. It seems a little complicated, but I do know you can use it through Discord. And there's some other ones like maybe WhatsApp and stuff like that. So, but even with WhatsApp, I think you have to use your actual phone number. So I'm gonna figure that out again. Hurricane T2I said, get a Google number. Okay, I'll look into that. Knicks are ass. Jurg in the building. What's going on, homie? He says he got a resolution on me, so I'll get with you, Jerg. But yeah, I know there's different avenues, so I'm gonna look into that for sure. But the call-in show is coming. That was like the most requested thing. The call-in show is coming, so it's just a matter of time. That'll be coming within the next month, and that's probably long shooting. And I mean, the call-in show's coming, and it's coming to a theater near you very soon. Another thing that was requested that I really like the idea of, and this is going to lead me to some other things, was the somebody wanted to do like a throwback Thursday. So essentially what the throwback Thursday would consist of, and I'm picking Thursday to do this, would be on a Thursday, we pull up an old Florida State game and we watch it and we just review it, go over it, have fun with it, you know, all that good stuff. Just watch an old FSU game, whether it's an old national championship game or whatever, and relive the memories and talk about, you know, who stood out, the old school players and all that. I definitely want to do that. That can't happen on YouTube though, because YouTube is stupid and they will tear down my channel. I've tried this, not this specific thing before, but I used to try to do the game review after games and break down film, and it was going good. And if you guys maybe the people who were in that live stream remember, the stream was going good, and then all of a sudden they blacked it out. They blacked out the entire stream. Now eventually, I got a copyright claim on that video. I disputed it. I actually won the dispute, but I've been getting copyright claims. The copyright claims don't quite affect me because I'm not a channel that's monetized or that's making money. I'm not making money off of any of my videos. The only thing I make is whatever people donate. That's the only thing I make. Right? I'm not monetized, so I'm not making any money off of these. But going forward, I don't want to have to copyright dispute every single time I try to do a video that involves other clips. You guys see that I do the recruitment, and I do when guys commit, I do their highlight films. I get copyright claimed every time I do one. Like, those videos don't make money, so I don't quite worry about it, and it doesn't quite affect me, even though I do dispute most of them just so I can keep my name kind of clear. I dispute them. I usually win them. Sometimes I don't. That's not something that I want to continue to fight with going forward. What's the solution to that? A Patreon page. So before I get a Patreon page up and running, I got to make the Patreon page worth it. So Patreon is something that look for that to be coming up in the near future. And what do you get with Patreon? You're gonna get the throwback Thursdays. You're gonna get all that stuff, all that film breakdown. People were requesting to do game breakdowns. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do the recruits. We're gonna do the throwback Thursdays, shirts, hoodies. I got some of that stuff that's in the work that I'm really excited for. Some cool designs that I'm really excited for. Some 863 merchandise. So these are things that are coming in the future that I'm really excited for. And just want to give you guys a heads up to be looking forward to that. So now that we got all the logistics out the way, let's get into why we came here. Let's talk this schedule and let's talk these commits. Let's hit the chat up just to shout out anybody else who popped up in the building. Mr. Wolf Strange, what's going on? Tim 226 Tim, what is up? Panama's in the building, and CJ has popped up. His phone must be fully charged because CJ is in the chat, guys. The Android is live. The Android is charged. CJ's in the chat. Everybody say hello to CJ before his phone dies. Let's get it popping. All right, let's check out this schedule. We're going to start with the schedule. Concrete Hard No and Carla Freeman. What is going on? 50 people in here, man. Hit the like button. We are live on Friday Night Chop. Let's hit the schedule. Let's not waste any more time. We're going to go over the schedule. Chris G in the building. There it is. There's the schedule. Let's go over the schedule. What the hell? There we go. And let's see. Y'all don't need to see me. I'm going to make the schedule big. I'm going to take that off. Bam. Here's our schedule. You guys should be able to see it. You got September 5th, you got the Fighting Irish. Then you got Jacksonville State, Wake Forest, Louisville, Syracuse, North Carolina, a bye week, UMass, Clemson, NC State, Miami, Boston College, and then the Florida Gators. Let's do this first half of this schedule, guys. Because I'm looking at this schedule, and again, that first half of that schedule, you got two tough games. You got North Carolina. You got Notre Dame. Let's just start with Notre Dame. I stand firm on this hill. Notre Dame's winnable, guys. You're losing their quarterback. I don't know. I don't follow Notre Dame in recruiting, so I don't know who they got coming up. But that's a home game. They're going to be breaking in a brand new quarterback. They're going to be breaking in a majority of that offensive line is going to be brand new. Notre Dame's losing some stuff, guys. That Notre Dame game should be winnable. We should be able to, Notre Dame should come into Tallahassee and have a tough fight on our hands. And I've said it from the jump. That Notre Dame game is going to tell me everything I need to know about that defense. I'm honestly not too worried about the offense. Even with Mackenzie Milton and the knee, the only thing that worries me about Milton is not so much the knee. It's more so after being out for 2 years, how's the speed of it? Can he come back? Is he going to be able to come back and jump right into the mix of things? That's my worry about Milton. Not him throwing the ball, just the speed of the game. Has he lost the speed of the game? Can he still, that type of thing? As long as that is still there, as long as the game isn't too fast for him, I'm not too worried about the quarterback position. I'm not really too worried about that offense, to be quite honest with you. It's the defense. If Adam Fuller cannot come out there and put any kind of resistance against a team, again, that's going to be breaking in a bunch of new starters on offense. Well, damn it, I don't know what to tell you about that damn Adam Fuller. That Notre Dame game, honestly, to me, at home, that Notre Dame game is going to tell me everything I need to know about Adam Fuller. I already feel like I know everything I need to know about Adam Fuller, but the Notre Dame game is going to really paint the picture. I think it's going to be, that's going to be it's going to set the tone for the entire season is what I'm trying to say. Then after Notre Dame, you got to win in Jacksonville State. Okay. Wake Forest. Look, it's Wake Forest. You don't lose to Wake Forest. Louisville's, they're losing all the top offensive talent they had this year is going to be gone. Syracuse is maybe other than Duke, it might be the worst team in the ACC. And then you're going to, before the bye week, which is interesting that I only see one bye week on the schedule. That's not usually the norm. But before the bye week, then you're going to finish off with North Carolina. That's going to be a revenge game for those guys. We're going into Chapel Hill. They will be pumped up. They're losing some talent too. They're losing both of those running backs. I think they're losing a couple decent wide receivers, but they're also bringing in a fairly solid recruiting class. That North Carolina game is going to be tough. But in the first 6 games, at worst, you're 4-2. And that means you lost to Notre Dame and North Carolina. Because definitely don't see you losing to Jacksonville State. I don't see you losing to Jacksonville State, Louisville, and Syracuse in Tallahassee. I don't see you losing those games. Wake Forest, while Winston-Salem isn't a tough place to go play, that'll be the first road game of the season. So we'll be interested to see how that team plays on the road. Okay. But you're not going to lose those 3 home games. Okay. Notre Dame, we already know that's going to be the tone setter. We'll see. Again, to me, at worst, you're talking 4-2 going into the bye week. Am I wrong? I think I'm pretty spot on there. At worst. Do I think a 6-0 is possible? Not really. Because that North Carolina game, in my opinion, will be the toughest game in the first 6 games. I'm not saying I'm sleeping on Notre Dame, but again, there's something about it. To me, I feel very confident with the Notre Dame game. I feel confident with Notre Dame game. I'm not saying, it's not that I don't feel confident with the Tar Heel game. Again, that team's going to be pumped to play that game. That team is going to be pumped to play that game. Again, at worst, I'm thinking 4-2. At worst, we're talking 4-2. Okay. Going to the bye week. Before we continue to the last half of the schedule, let's see what people are talking about. Gotta scroll all the way up. Okay. Chris G. Montre says Notre Dame game gonna set the tone. Absolutely. I know Mackenzie Milton is going to be the worst starting quarterback, and we can win with him. I hate the ACC. Seriously, they always try to screw us, sticking us with Notre Dame again. I think we can beat Notre Dame. We go out there and play some good football. UF finally decided to want to play FSU. Mine King thinks 2 to 3 losses in the first 6 games. If honestly, again, at worst, again, I'm saying 4-2. If you split those 3 games, if you go into the bye week 3-3, that's a bad look. That's a bad look in my opinion. It's a bad look. Noel Production says he agrees. I think Mackenzie Milton is going to be fine. He's a true athlete. Truer place, we know, come back. Bunch of convicts on UF. Wake got Woodbay. No, Woodbay went to Boston College. Brandy Franklin. Rough Rider, what's going on? Brother Brooklyn says Notre Dame is gutted on offense. They shouldn't score 20. Same with Louisville, but we have Adam Fuller. Exactly. That's why I say Notre Dame is going to set the tone because, like you said, they're losing a ton of offense there. Yeah, I don't see Fuller's got all his players. Again, people, the mistake, or not the mistake, excuse me, the excuse that was made for Fuller was he didn't have his guys. I don't see that. I don't see that now. Phil DeCane, what's going on? Louisville is still a tough team. I don't see how they're a tough. I don't see how they're a tough team. They were first of all, that shows how bad we were last year. What did Louisville win? 3-4 games? And they had guys like Tutu Atwell and Hawkins. They're losing all of those guys. I don't see where they're still a tough team is. I don't see how they're a tough team. But again, I'm saying 4-2 at worst. If you do any worse than 4-2, I think it's cause for concern. I honestly do. Don't pay attention to Kainze. He says he sees 4 losses. Oh, he means out of the total schedule. We'll see about that. I thought he meant in the first 6. Can't see us beating North Carolina. I think that's the toughest game in the first 6 games. I think the North Carolina game is going to be the toughest game. They're going to want revenge. They're going to come out pumped up, and it's going to be on the road. I don't know what the crowd's going to look like by this time. Who knows? I don't know how COVID's going to look. When is that game? And what is October? So October is what, 10 months from now? So yeah, so I don't know in 10 months what COVID's going to look like. But I think that's going to be the toughest game in the first 6. What's going on, AR? Sergeant AR? Okay. Then the next 6. Now, that back half of that schedule, that's where it gets shaky. Not going to lie. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, there we go. That's where it gets shaky. I mean, we come off the bye with the easy game. UMass and the Fighting Walt Bells, we're going to put up 60 on Walt Bell. I'm calling it right now. Then we go into Clemson. Dabo's going to have those guys pumped. So, that's going to, and it's on the road. So that's going to be a tough game. We'll just call that an L for right now until we see how this team actually plays. Wolfpack. I think every game, once you get past UMass, I'm not going to lie, I feel like every game's a really tough game down the stretch. This back half of the schedule, man, is going to make or break this team. The first half gives you a chance. I mean, you start off with a tough game in Notre Dame, but then you get Jacksonville State, you get Wake, you get Louisville, you get Syracuse. You have a 4-game stretch right there to really figure out what you're going to be offensively and defensively. You got a 4-game stretch right there where, in my opinion, say what you want about tough teams. The first half of that schedule, that Jacksonville, Wake, Louisville stretch, Syracuse, you're undoubtedly putting the most talent. You're the most talented team stepping on that football field in every game. That's why, to me, anything less than 4 wins is completely unacceptable. Then UMass. So let's just, I'll be super reserved right now and say we lose to Notre Dame and we lose to North Carolina. So we're going to go into Clemson 5-2. We leave Clemson 5-3. You can't lose that NC State game. You have to go into Miami 6-3. Miami's tough. Obviously, we're talking a rivalry game. And we're playing them late in the season. So the unfortunate thing for us is by November, Miami's going to have their little quarterback situation figured out, whoever that may be. He's going to have a bunch of starts under their belt. By that time, that game's always going to be tough. It's a home game, so I like that. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that we're going to lose the Hurricanes. So we're going to go 7-3 after Miami. Boston College had a pretty solid team, man, this past year. I think going up to Boston late November could be a tough game for Florida State. Late November, up in Massachusetts. Don't know what that weather would be like around that time. That could be a tough game for the Seminoles. But I'm going to give it a win. But all of these games down the stretch, and then, of course, you got the Gators to close out the season like normal. Worst case scenario, when I look at this schedule, man, worst case scenario. The worst case scenario is you lose to a team like Wake Forest in that first 6 games, or you lose to a Louisville in the first 6 games, and now you're leaving that stretch 3-3. Then you're going to be 4-3 going into Clemson. You're going to be 4-4, and now you really have to put the pedal to the metal to try to win. You're going to have to win the last 3 out of 4 games. Realistically, you need to go. You don't want to go 6-6. You just don't want to go 6-6. If you don't come out of the first 6 games 4-2, you're really putting yourself in a bind that last 6 games. Because I'm not gonna lie, man, that last half of the schedule is tough. So it's really hard to predict, especially until I see this team. Hard for me to predict. But if I'm being 100% honest, and if I'm going strictly off what I saw last year, there's no way in hell. Obviously, you can't go what we saw last year because this is going to be a completely different team than what we saw last year. But there's no way in hell FSU goes down that the last 6 games of that schedule. There's no way they even come out 500 during the last stretch. Again, completely different team that's going to take the field this year. So the only game, while I think every game down the stretch is tough, the only game that I know we're going to lose is probably the Clemson game. I don't know that the Gators are just going to be flat out better than us. And I damn sure don't know about NC State, Miami, or Boston College. None of those ACC teams are going to be fielding a more talented team than us, other than Clemson and maybe North Carolina. So that's really the way I look at this schedule, man. Somebody tell me I'm wrong. Somebody tell me I'm being pessimistic. I don't know. Maybe I'm being too hard on it. Maybe I'm being too soft on it. Other than Clemson, and not counting the rivalry game, I mean, Boston College may be the toughest game, not counting the 2 rivalry games, and other than Clemson, who I don't consider a rival, I don't care what they say. Boston College might be the trickiest game, man. That Boston College team, they're going to be tough. I believe Boston College is going to be tough down the stretch. Let's see what everybody's saying in the chat. Mike King says 2 to 4 losses overall is what he meant. Okay. Matter of fact, I think y'all could beat Notre Dame. They losing a lot, so that's 3. Jeffrey Bell, what is popping? Don't overlook UMass. I'm looking over. Let me tell you something. Not only am I overlooking UMass, I'm sleeping on them, sleepwalking by them. Listen, I've defended Mike Norvell when it's time to defend him, and I criticize him when it's time to criticize him. If he loses to UMass, if that UMass game is even competitive, I will be calling for Mike Norvell's job right then and there. I said it here now. You can write it down, record this video, take a picture of it. Like Smokey said, I don't give a, if we struggle in any way with UMass, matter of fact, let me put myself on the screen so you guys can see me. If we struggle with UMass in any way, Mike Norvell I will take the first flight to Tallahassee, and I will be standing outside of Doak Campbell. I'll be on the campus grounds with a picket fence by myself if I have to, screaming fire Mike Norvell. I don't know where you think UMass is going to be. Any bull. Don't overlook UMass, my ass. Anyway, no disrespect to you, but no, sir. How come Clemson get out of playing the Canes, the Tar Heels, and the Irish? I didn't even look at their schedule, but you know how it is with Clemson. I think Clemson's playing Georgia. That's the only thing I think. That's the only thing I think is Georgia. North Carolina's using, Jerkin calling somebody sleeping. Boston College I think would be tough. 8 wins. Watch out. I've said that before, and I'll say it now. 8 wins. Watch out. If FSU can pull off 8 wins, watch out. The recruiting is already starting off extremely positive. I think we're number 8 in the 2022 class. You land Nico, I think that pushes up into the top 5, I think. Right now you got some good guys on the horizon in that class. 8 wins, and watch out on the recruiting trail. Kenny Trill says, yo, what's up, Kenny? Start off 4-1. Well, it's 6 games, so we're hopefully 5-1. You have to make a bowl game, preferably win it. 6-6 would be an improvement, and it still wouldn't be good enough. That's just the facts. That's FSU's own standards, right? I want to be clear about that too. That's FSU standards. Because when they fired Willie Taggart, and they said in that press conference, he said Coburn said, frankly, 6-6 isn't good enough. So there's no way Mike Norvell can go 6-6. Because he damn it won 3 games this past year. There's no way in hell he can win. He can just go 6-6. By FSU standards, 6-6 isn't good enough. That's all I'm saying. And by my standards as well. Hold on, the chat skipped on me. I'm looking to see the wins in that stretch you mentioned. I refuse to buy the a win is a win story if we plan on being significant. Teams more talented than FSU on paper today. Teams more talented than FSU on paper at this point on that schedule. Or what do you want to go? We just going by recruiting rankings or what? Because if you're telling me, if we're going by the way they recruit, the only teams that's going to be fielding more talent than Florida State is Clemson, probably Florida, and even that's close because it's not like Dan Mullen's recruiting like crazy up there. I wouldn't say North Carolina. They might have the quarterback, but talent for talent across the board, I can't say North Carolina. Again, I'm just talking about what they're typically recruiting. But North Carolina, and Miami are probably very close. But on this entire schedule, I guess, and probably Notre Dame's probably been recruiting at a better clip, maybe recently. So what? 1, 2, 3 to 4 at the most. 4 at the most. I'm going to say that we're going to go 6-1 going to Clemson. If we're 6-1 going to Clemson, that's big time. That's big time. I just won a bowl game. Last year was horrible, and we get no benefits of the doubt, with the exception of UMass. No, according to some people, don't sleep on UMass. And I don't see it. UMass, I only see Clemson a L. Realistically, we could not throw a pass and beat the brakes off of UMass. That's what I'm saying. I don't know why the UMass thing. I don't know what's up with the UMass thing, but everybody's got their own opinion. FIU's the real football team in Miami. Yeah, UMass and FIU comparison it's not even comparable. You can say what you want about FIU, but last time I checked, FIU is full of a bunch of South Florida players. UMass isn't. I believe Walt Bell didn't win one game in his first full season at UMass. It's just not comparable, in my opinion. Just 6-6 is unacceptable. This is Florida State. It's time to get back to a standard. Clemson's schedule is a cakewalk. I know, right? Clemson playing someone off. Destin Hill would be an amazing add to this year team. I agree completely. I think Destin Hill comes in as the second best wide receiver. If he's the most talented, but I think he'd be the second best wide receiver on the roster from the jump. Yes, Hill and Parchment will give the team some serious trouble. Liberty beat UMass this year like 48 or 45-0, and I would say we would beat Liberty. UMass should be a cakewalk, even if, because Liberty had a solid team, and Liberty beat some solid ACC competition that we couldn't. So I won't even put this about Liberty, right? There's no way we would lose to UMass. Is it true that Florida State lost $26 million because of this year? Yeah, so it's true, but it's not. There's more to it. There's actually a pretty good article about that $20 million looks very similar, right? That $20 million takes into account Willie Taggart's buyout. That $20 million takes into account Taggart's buyout in the revenue for this year, and it doesn't account for the boosters. Again, there's a good article out there if you go read it. So it takes into account Taggart's buyout and doesn't include the Seminole boosters contributions to the program. So the $26 million is a fact, but it's not the entire, it's not the entire picture. There's more to it than that. What's going on? Marquishimo. Yep, and that's what we got on the schedule, though. So again, when I'm looking at the schedule and the way too early predictions before we see how they finish the portal, how they finish recruiting next week. Again, in my opinion, if I had to pick right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm gonna say 7 to 8 wins, just off bat. I'm gonna say 7 to 8 wins, man. That's the way I'm feeling. The more I look at the schedule, 7 to 8. Again, way too early for me to be calling it. I know, probably be dead wrong, but we'll see. 7 to 8. UMass played 4 games last year and lost them all. They were outscored. See, again, we lose or struggle with UMass. It's Mike Norvell can get the hell out. You can get the hell out. I'm not even playing. Not being overconfident, but I'm not concerned at all about our offense. But that Adam Fuller defense is I think that's everybody's concern. I know it's my concern. 61 people in here, man. Hit that like button. 60 people in here on this Friday night. Irv Gotti's in the building. Where we at? Didn't UNC lose all those playmakers on offense? I know they lost both running backs. Howell's coming back, and I think they lost a couple receivers as well. This man said we getting 5 wins. 5 wins. If you say 5 wins off of the schedule, you're saying that the only teams we're beating are Jacksonville State, UMass, Wake Forest, Syracuse, and who? You really have no confidence that we don't field a better team than Louisville, than Boston College, even though I think that's going to be tough, than NC State. Like, look, man, I just don't see it that way. Look at the way these other teams are recruiting. I get it. The recruiting, the stars, they don't always matter. They don't always mean everything. But there's no way I can look at this. If Norvell is the coach that people are telling me he is, and we have confidence that with Mackenzie Milton, there's no way Mackenzie Milton loses 6-7 games. There's just no way. There's no way with Mackenzie Milton, we're winning 5 games next year. And I'm not even saying Mackenzie Milton is the GOAT or the end all be all. But look how bad the quarterback play was as a whole last year. We didn't have any quarterback play. We were doing everything on the fly. They were figuring it out as they were going. If you say 5 wins, you're telling me that the offensive line gets no development. Offensive line is not going to get any better, is what you're telling me. You're telling me the O-line is not going to be any better. You're telling me Mackenzie Milton is not going to be any better than Jordan Travis was, or James Blackman, or Chubba Purdy, or Tate Rodemaker was last year. So you're telling me the quarterback position is going to stay the same. The offensive line is going to stay the same. The wide receivers are going to stay the same. What you're really telling me is that there's just going to be no improvement on offense whatsoever, because I'm not even talking about the defense. The defense has everything to prove. So I won't even talk about the defense. I don't need to see the defense until I see the defense, if you know what I mean. I'm not even putting any predictions out on that defense. But you're telling me that there's going to be no improvement offensively. If you tell me that there's going to be no improvement at all offensively, then okay, I'm with you. We'll 5 wins. 5 wins is the max. POLK, find the closest game to September 14th in Tally, and we're going to go on from my B-Day. Lock in, me, you, and a few of the fellas, lock in, turn up. When is September 14th? Who are we playing the 14th? That is either going to be the Jacksonville State game or the Wake Forest game. But the Wake Forest game's in North Carolina, so it would have to be the Jacksonville State game. Would be that Saturday before the 14th. So I'll look into that. Tim. I'll look into that, no doubt. We can't lose to Florida, Miami, and Clemson. Someone has. That's another thing. You're telling me that we're not going to have no upsets. Again, you're just telling me that All the transfer portal guys we brought in. You're telling me that no one improves the roster is what you're telling me. If you're saying 5 wins, I just can't. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'd be extremely pissed if we did all of this flipping the rosters as we've been calling it and getting out all these kids that everybody wanted us to see everybody wanted to see us get rid of all of these guys. We flip the roster. Everybody transfers out. We bring in a ton of transfers, a ton of new DBs. I mean, we're bringing in 6 new DBs this offseason, including the high schoolers and the transfer guys. Bringing the DN from Georgia. We're bringing in all these guys, all this Adam Fuller talent, and only going to manage 5 wins. Woo! There'd be no defense for Mike Norvell. I'll tell you that right now. There'd be no defense for Mike Norvell. How you doing, Wanda Smith? I'm going to say FSU goes 0-12. I can realistically say 7-8. The best might have been the punt team in terms of gaining yards. Can our receivers catch? We'll see. We're going to find out. I've watched enough of Parchment to know at least he can catch the ball. So I'm not worried about Parchment. We'll see if the guys who are on the roster right now can catch. That's a great question because last year they damn sure couldn't. So, yeah, we'll see. But that guy that got most of those drops, he's not on the team anymore. And Warren Thompson. So we'll see. We'll see. Again, they flipped the roster. We added Joshua Burrell, Malik McClain. All signs are pointing to Dustin Hill come signing day. And you added Parchment. I expect the wide receiver room to be better. I don't see it either. I don't see him coming to Florida State and losing 5 to 6 games. I would be, unless he's a complete shell of his former self. Unless you're telling me he completely forgot how to play football. Don't see it. A sense of urgency is an understatement, Kainze. A sense of urgency, 5 wins is a sense of urgency is an understatement. Can we tackle on defense? We can tackle better, good enough to beat UMass. I promise you that. Panama right, man. Parchment Hill would be something serious. I'm excited to see the February. JSU, UMass, Miami, Q's, and Wake and Louisville are the only wins. Jacksonville. What did you say? Jacksonville? I'm Jacksonville, UMass, Miami, Cuse, Wake are the only wins. So you're telling me NC State at home, we got no shot. I think the Boston College game, again, I still think that's going to be tough. But you're telling me to get to 6 wins, there's no way we can beat NC State at home. Okay. I guess that would be the only other game you would consider because you're saying that there's no chance we can beat any of the top teams on our schedule, that we're that bad that we can't beat Notre Dame at home, even though Notre Dame's losing again. Entire offense is gone for Notre Dame. No quarterback. Well, they have a quarterback, but not the guy that won all those games last year and got them to the playoff. No Ian Book. That NFL offensive line is gone. Notre Dame is just going to come in and win. We already beat North Carolina in a game nobody thought we could beat them in. I agree. That would be the toughest game in the first 6 games. They're going to be pumped up for that game. But, okay, we won't be. But they're losing a bunch of offensive playmakers as well. But apparently we can't win that game. I don't know. I just disagree. I think every game's winnable. The only games that I'd give you an automatic. There's only one game on the entire schedule, quite frankly, that I'll guarantee a loss, and that's Clemson. Maybe 2, and that's Florida. And I'm not too hyped on Florida because I have no idea who their quarterback's going to be. Granted, by then, we're playing them the last game of the season. You would assume Dan Mullen's going to have his quarterback situation figured out by then, and they should be fine. So maybe 2 guaranteed losses. Now, I'm not saying FSU's only going to lose 2 games, but when I look at the schedule, I'm saying 2 guarantees. Everything else is up for grabs. Everything else is up for grabs. Based on the last 5 games is realistic. While I hope for more wins, we were really bad last year. We definitely were bad. As long as that defense does a 180, y'all should win 7 games at the very least, barring any minor injuries to key guys. Good point. And people are so sleep on Parchment. Better than Terry in every aspect as a receiver, just a little slower. I don't disagree with Kenny. I talked about that when it came to Parchment. I said Tamarion Terry was easily the better athlete. Like if you pair them both side by side, Tamarion Terry's the better athlete. But when you talk about football players and receivers, Parchment does a lot of things that Tamarion Terry just never did. Whether that's adjust to the ball in the air, catch the ball with his hands, run crisp routes. I mean, Parchment does a lot of things that's just flat out better than Tamarion Terry did. We'll see how that translates, though. First things first, if we lose to UMass, Norvell better be escorted by security off the field. Second, I'm not that impressed with NC State either. I think we'll win that one here at home. That's what I'm saying. Usually when we struggle with NC State, we struggle with NC State in NC State. NC State usually comes to Tallahassee and usually catches an L. So I think you got to put it in, you know, I think you got to look at it like that, man. Hold on. With a healthy Jordan Travis, a full spring, he would win 6 games alone. So with Mackenzie Milton, add 2 or 3. We don't have Asante Samuel. No, we don't. But what difference did Asante Samuel make? And this isn't a knock on Asante, but you're talking about a 5'10" corner. We still only won 3 games with Asante. When you look at the way these corners are going to look next year, they're going to be bigger. I'm not saying we have a guy on the roster that's better than Asante. It remains to be seen if Demore Tate, if any of these guys, you know, but Asante Samuel while he was a good corner, he wasn't Jalen Ramsey. He wasn't big enough and physical enough to be a complete game changer on that side of the ball. Just like Manny, he better not lose his year. The only expectation is Bama. Giuseppe, what's going on? Is Jerrion Jones switching to receiver? That was an early rumor. I have not heard if that's going to continue to be the thing. That was an early rumor, but as of right now, as far as I'm tracking, he's still a DB. Uh, 5 wins. I don't see only 5 wins with a good off season. Man, I know you done slipped and bumped your heads on something. I'm saying we don't have a number 1 receiver. We do. Well, until Parchment's on campus. Okay, you can make the case that we don't have a number 1 receiver. Okay, fine. They have to find a number 1 receiver, fair. A right tackle. Our right tackle was a freshman All-American, so I don't agree with you there. Now, you can make a case that we don't have a left tackle, even though Love Taylor will be the left tackle if we don't find one. But we definitely have a right tackle. DNs, I don't know. We just got the top defensive end in the portal, the Jermaine Johnson from Georgia. And we got a South Carolina kid in DN. So, I mean, now if you want to question the depth at DN, there might be a little bit of legit questions there, even though I like Byron Turner a hell of a lot. I think people are sleeping on him. He's a guy at defensive end. While George Campbell and Patrick Payton, they're going to have the huge upside. Byron Turner, I think, is a guy who's going to play game 1. A number 1 corner. Okay, remains to be seen who plays. We have too many DBs. I'm not worried about corner. The only thing about corner you can say is, well, we don't have an in-home named guy. I'm not worried about corner. You don't recruit that many DBs and don't find one. We got a number 1 DB. It's just a matter of fact who steps up and who emerges as the number 1 DB. And a kicker. Kicker's still an issue. We're not going to lie there. We'll see what happens with the kicker. Not to mention depth issues and wait, Adam Fuller. What depth issues? What depth issues? I don't see any depth issues on the team. A full off season is what we needed? I don't blame them. It's a late November home game for Boston College, so I don't blame them for having that. I don't blame them. I don't know if Malik McClain can be a day one starter. Size wise, yeah. I mean, talking 6'5", two plus. He's gonna have. We'll see. I'm interested to see how Norvell plays because he played a lot of freshman receivers last year. Um, he might have to step up and be a number one guy or at least an option off the bat. He's gonna get an opportunity. Um, I keep thinking NC State is an easy win. They beat us. Again, NC State beats us. Usually, anytime we got to go into NC State, anytime we got to go into Raleigh, North Carolina, yeah, that's when they beat us. But if you check the history, they don't usually come to Florida State and beat, or come to Tallahassee and beat us. I think we can beat Clemson. That Clemson game will be what, the 8th game, right? Or the 8th game in the season. I mean, by the time we play that Clemson team, we'll pretty much know exactly what kind of team we have. We will know what kind of team we have. Hold on. Chat skipped. There we go. Just a heads up, I don't know how much War Chant you listen to, but they are predicting 9 to 10. I listen to them, but I don't usually try to listen to them whenever I'm about to do my own thing. So I don't take, I don't want, I want to have my own pure thoughts when I come on here and talk to you guys. If they're predicting 9 to 10, if that's something for War Chant. Now War Chant is usually a little bit more optimistic though. I guess. If you listen to like the Noel cast, they're a little bit more pessimistic. So if War Chant's predicting 9 to 10, I'm pretty much guarantee you the Noel cast are predicting like 7 to 6. So there's probably somewhere in the middle. Again, I think 8 wins is a very strong possibility for this team. If War Chant's predicting 9 to 10, then they definitely think we're going into that Clemson game at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, at least 6-1. The only way you're going to talk about a 9 to 10 win season is you're going into Clemson 6-1. I don't necessarily buy 9 to 10, but it's very early to be talking about. It's extremely early. It could very well be. I got to see. I got to see what we got on the field. Chat jumped on me. Parchment more refined than Terry. Yes, he is. There we are. I'm with you on Mackenzie Milton talent, but he had I agree, Wanda. He had a very nasty injury. But if you're telling me that in January he's 90%, he's going to be fine by August, September. I'm not really worried about the knee. I'm more so worried about, did he lose the speed of the game? That would worry me more, but I'm not too worried about, when it comes to Milton, I'm not too worried about the knee. He's been out for like 2 years, probably going on 3 by the time he takes another snap. I'm more worried about, has he lost the touch for the game? NC State, Clemson, Gates will take the beating, but there is that one game we should win, but take that L. So looking at 8-4. Yeah. I don't pay. You know how they do. They show up. Jones was pass interference walking. If Fuller run that 4-2-5 right, I expect a defensive shift for y'all. This man really said we have no DNs. Must be living back in time. Everybody has weak spots on defense. Even Bama giving up 30 a game. That's definitely true. Y'all really act like every No, we're not saying. I don't think people think that every transfer is Superman, but I do think when you look at the transfers they brought in, where they came from, where they competed at, compared to what we lost, they were flat out more productive against better competition than what we lost. Right? Kando in his 3 to 4 years couldn't even be on the field, let alone be productive on it. You're getting a guy in Jermaine Johnson who at Georgia was able to tally 5 sacks in a season while playing a reserve role. He wasn't even the full-time starter over there. I don't think we had a guy the entire season, full-time rotation guy, that was able to tally 5 sacks. So I think there are some obvious guys that they're bringing in that should be just flat out better off the bat. Assuming FSU hits on every transfer guy, probably if you look at the transfer guys and say who won't compete or who won't pan out, like last year, Miko Dotson didn't pan out, but Jerrion Jones and Fabian Lovett, they played a ton of snaps. We didn't get much out of Miko. We didn't get much out of the Baylor defensive end that we got in the portal. I'm trying to think who else we pulled in the portal. We didn't get anything out of Jordan Wilson, but that's because he tore his Achilles. So barring some injuries and stuff, yeah, maybe a few of the transfer guys don't pan out. But I think what they did is they addressed needs, and they really brought in guys who are more productive than the guys we previously had. Hold on, chat jumped on me again. Jermaine Johnson will make up Kando and Robinson production put together they had last year. I think so, and that's what I'm saying. I don't know if every transfer portal is a gimme, but the transfer portal guys that I'm pretty positive or pretty sure about, one would be him, Mackenzie Milton, and Parchment would probably be my 3 top transfer guys. The DBs are going to be interesting. All right, the DBs are going to be interesting. I said it before and I'll say it again. I think the UCF DB might be the best one of the bunch, but coming off of a knee injury, we'll see what happens there. Remember how bad Marvin Wilson, Durden, Kando, etc. were last year after being hyped? Don't expect me to buy into the hype this year after seeing these guys. To be fair about that, okay, so you bring that point up. Marvin Wilson, it's pretty obvious that he should have went pro after his junior year, because not only did Marvin Wilson not play great this season, I was watching him in the Senior Bowl practices, and he's not looking great in those either. He's not getting very good scouting reviews right now. Marvin Wilson seems to be a guy that maybe he capped early and probably should have took advantage of that and probably should have went pro. I don't know. I think from what I'm hearing is Marvin Wilson's stock is dropping almost every day in the Senior Bowl. As far as Durden goes, let's address Corey Durden. Was Corey Durden hyped? He was hyped because he played alongside Marvin Wilson and Coop. I said the same. I said this about Corey Durden last year. He was good until Marvin Wilson was hurt at the end of last year, and he had to play on his own with nobody beside him to eat up blocks. Corey Durden is a guy who can be an effective defensive tackle when he's next to somebody who demands attention. I don't think he's a number one. And Kando's never been a number. I don't think anybody had any hype for Kando. I don't think anybody had. We knew going in the last year that our defensive ends were the weak point of the defense. We thought the defensive tackles were going to be elite. Boy, were we wrong there. But we knew the defensive ends weren't any good. We knew Robinson was what he was. And we knew Kendo couldn't stay healthy, so we never knew what Kendo was. Me personally, I always thought Kendo should have came back for his senior year. He doesn't have enough game film. But we knew the defense were what, but they recruited the defensive end position heavily. We get to see how Milton and the defense looks to be confident about 9 to 10. I'm just worried about the defense. I'm still not worried about the offense, man. I'm still not worried about the offense. Do you think our O-line will be even better than this year? Just natural progression says the offensive line will take a step. Remember, you played how many freshmen you played on that offensive line? You played 1, 2. You played 2 true freshmen, or 2 freshmen, a sophomore, and 2 seniors. And the senior may have, and Bavion Johnson was probably the worst offensive lineman, and he was a senior. So I would say natural progression says that the offensive line is going to take a step. What are your sleeper players that no one is talking about that surprise us? Offensively, hold on, let me finish the comments, and I'm going to come back to that question. The word on spring football, will they have a Garnet and Gold game? Will there be fans allowed? Haven't heard about any fans, but I have no reason to believe that there won't be spring football. I'm almost going to sit here and guarantee you that there'll be spring football. There's no way you can have these kids play an entire season, travel in said season, play in front of some crowds that were 20, 15, 10,000 strong, and then they can't have spring football in a closed environment on campus. There's going to be a spring football. Whether there's fans in the stands and all of that, I don't know. There'll be spring football, and I expect a spring game. These dudes balled out in the SEC. And that's, I think, again, they took competent players from competent I won't say competent programs. Even South Carolina is what it is. But Georgia, you got a guy from Georgia, you got 2 guys from South Carolina. They took competent players who played against some of the better teams in the nation. The spring game is on April 10th. Polk, what do you think about J-Rob, Marv, and Ham? I wouldn't say Marv's killing it. Again, I'm watching Marv. I don't see Marv killing anything. Ham looks good, and J-Rob looks pretty good. I wouldn't say Marv is killing much. I saw 1 rep where Marv won it. That's it, 1. These fellas come from the SEC. Know after playing in that fire, they can eat for real here. He said Jamie Robinson is my top transfer. Only Oklahoma did better in the transfer portal this year. Roche looks better than Wilson in the Senior Bowl. The Senior Bowl tomorrow at 2. Polk, you're going to go live. Tomorrow I'm going to go live for the fight. I won't be going live for the Senior Bowl, though. Who hyped up Kendo? Nobody. Yeah, I agree there. I don't think anybody hyped up Kendo. Brandon Moore, Bam, and or the Moore tape will be all over Rambo. We're expecting Parchment to be number 1 when Pokey had double his yards last year. Pokey Wilson, Ontario Wilson, has never had a season like Parchment had the year prior to last. If you think FSU's quarterback situation was bad last year, I want you to go revisit what Kansas's quarterback position was like last year. They had a game very similar to us where they rotated 3 different quarterbacks in one game. I mean, they didn't have. If you thought our quarterback position was bad last year, go watch Kansas quarterback position. So I think it goes. You have to look at more than just what those guys. You got to look at what those guys just totaled in yards. Why do I say that? I'll give you another guy. If you talk about Rambo at Oklahoma from last year, he only had 300 yards. But are you going to sit here and tell me that Ontario Wilson's better than Rambo? I don't think so. Rambo only had 300 yards last year. And they actually had a solid quarterback position. Oklahoma's probably more deep at the receiver position. I don't know that I don't know what injuries that maybe he suffered last year or whatever. If he suffered any, but it looks like Rambo played in a total of 5 games. I don't know how many games total. How many games total did Oklahoma have? I'm saying that to say last year was such a weird year, especially for wide receivers. Rambo only had 300 some odd yards last year. I can tell you that Ontario Wilson, only reason he had the yards he had is because Terry was done midway through the season, and we didn't have another wide receiver option after that. But I don't think anybody is going to take Ontario Wilson over Andrew Parchment or Rambo. I'm just saying. In 2019, Rambo had about 700 some odd yards. Parchment had 831. In Ontario Wilson's best year at Florida State, he's not even touching. He's not even touching 800 yards. Let's see. What is Ontario Wilson's? What was his best year at Florida State? Last year was his best year at Florida State. 382 yards. The year before that, 200 yards, and the year before that, 35 yards. I have on-field production of, I have over 800 yards of Parchment being a better wide receiver than Ontario Wilson. Parchment has a one season better than Ontario Wilson has in his entire career. So we'll just leave it at that. Mark my words, Parchment will not be number one. Wilson will be number one. Parchment is good in my opinion. I can see him number two. Wilson who? If Ontario Wilson's number one, then we're in trouble. Ontario Wilson is not your number one receiver, guys. I am sorry. All 6 foot, 170 pounds of Ontario Wilson cannot be your number one guy. Destin Hill comes in day one and he's better than anything Ontario Wilson is or ever will be. Sorry to say it like that, but it's just the way it is. Ontario Wilson has a ceiling and it's probably already been matched. The guy can be effective in the slot, but he's not a number one receiver that you're going to put outside. He's not. A more healthy Keyshawn Helton is going to be a huge next. I would take Keyshawn. I would take Helton over Pookie Wilson. Now that might raise some eyebrows. He's got to be healthy now. I don't need Helton can't be on that. And if Helton's still in the knee brace, then no. I'll take Keyshawn Helton over Ontario Wilson, but he's got to be healthy. Hold on, chat skip. Oklahoma had pretty much a full season. Parchment and Mackenzie Milton could be one of the top duos in the ACC. De'Aaron King is so overrated. I want to see Brian Robinson. I mean, that's another receiver that we didn't get to see. I agree with you, Antonio. And this isn't me talking bad about Pookie, man, but if Pookie Wilson is your number one receiver, then there's a issue at I'm already on the way out on Ron Dugans. I'm telling you that right now. If Pookie Wilson is the number one receiver, then there's a problem across the board with all the receivers. Pookie Wilson is on nobody's scouting report. Kevin Smith says King is 24. That's why y'all had a good season. And Wilson is a poor man's version of Kenny Shaw. And Shaw was a number 3. Good point, Philly. I can see Ontario Wilson in a Kenny Shaw role. But like you just said, Kenny Shaw was your number 3 guy. The defense had to scout, had to game plan, had to scheme around Rashard Green, and especially a damn 6'5" Kelvin Benjamin. You had the game plan for those guys, which made Kenny Shaw in the slot do whatever he wanted to do and just be there when you needed him to be there. Never dropped balls, was always able to knew where to run, good route runner, could always get to the change and make the plays. So if you want to tell me Ontario Wilson can be that, then cool. That means we have to find a number one and a number two. But Ontario Wilson cannot be your number one guy. I just don't see it. I just don't see it. Who is your top Knoll from the 863 of all time? Ooh, you got guys like Carlos Williams, of course, Derwin James, Cardell Stewart, Brandon Gant, Chad Abrams. I'm just naming guys off the top of my head. Freddie Stevenson. Man. Off the top of my head, it would be Derwin. Yeah, I guess I'd go Derwin. I mean, Bavion Johnson from the 863. And I'm probably forgetting some guys. Obviously, I'm forgetting some guys. What do y'all think of Keir Thomas? He's going to be a solid rotational, versatile guy, in my opinion. He's going to be able to play inside and out. That's what I think of Keir Thomas. I don't think he's going to be any elite pass rusher, but he's going to give you enough versatility and depth across the entire offensive line. Shaw's way better than Wilson. Odell Haggins is, well, he lives in Lakeland. I don't know if he's originally from Bartow or Lakeland, but damn near the same area. Everybody's sleeping on Keyshawn, but I like him in the slot. Reminds me of Cole Beasley. Scooter, yeah, I know Scooter's from Lakeland. That's Odell's nephew. Tyler wants to talk about Hester. Okay, let's head up on Hester. Yeah, let's talk about Hester. So FSU got its newest commit last night, legacy commit. Hold on, I'm gonna bring him up. Let me bring him up. Let me find him so we can look at him. Aaron, defensive end, a.k.a. Hester. There he is. 6'3", 221 pounds. A.k.a. Hester. And I like this kid. And I like him. Let me share the screen. Hold on. I got to stop that one. Okay, there we go. Let's bring this one up. There he is. A.k.a. 397 nationally, 25 wide defensive end. Weak side. I don't know why I said wide. Weak side defensive end, and the 52 ranked player in the state of Florida. And this is a kid that does not have any junior tape. I don't know if he didn't play any junior ball. You know how it is. You know how it is with the damn COVID. A lot of these guys don't have any junior tape, but his sophomore tape is pretty solid. From what I watched, he lacks the off the ball step. So his initial step isn't anything to write home about. His burst isn't anything to write home about. What makes him a good player, in my opinion, is his strength. And he is a very violent player at the point of attack. Very violent. Okay. They come in here and they like to troll Knowles. It's okay. You would think they would be. They say we rent free, but they in here. You would think they'd be in there talking about Bama, but you know they over here. They want to check in. They want to see what's going on. But 6'3", 220. Hold up, can y'all see that? Yeah, there you go. And if you watch him again, he's violent at the point of attack, man. Strong tackler, strong hands. Again, his burst isn't anything special. He doesn't get off the line very fast. But when he gets his hands on somebody, man, again, he's violent with it. And here you see a defensive end running down. I guess that was a running back. So he's got a little bit of speed on him. But again, it's the burst that is, to me, that would be the knock, right? Like if you were to line him up and compare him to like Patrick Payton off the edge, like right there, if you just watch that number 22, the burst wasn't anything. He just was able to bull rush his way to the quarterback here. There he is. They're circling him. See, his get off isn't great, but when look at that, the line, he just moves the offensive tackle. He just was too strong for the offensive tackle right there. So that's where he's gonna make his money. That's what is impressive about him right there. He just lays the quarterback out. And again, he's just violent. And he does now his motor's good. He doesn't give on the plane. Look how he just made that tackle. Yeesh. When he tackles a guy, it's kind of scary. You can tell he's trying to hurt people when he tackles them. And he's got a good motor. He doesn't give up on plays. But when he raps, he's a strong kid. When he touches a guy, they fall. So that is impressive to watch. There he is right there on the edge again. But again, his burst isn't anything impressive. But right there, he just eats up the block and still makes the tackle. He didn't get the sack there, but he calls the play. He calls the disruption. That's just a bad play by the quarterback. He's supposed to feel that pressure. But again, the offensive tackles, they're not strong enough to block him. Again, he's not necessarily fast. They just aren't strong enough to get a hand on him. Killed that quarterback. He got the ball off, man. Look at that. Run straight through the running back. And that's the strength and the motor I'm talking about. We're going to go back and watch that one again. He just runs right through the running back who's supposed to be pass blocking. Look at that. The running back never stood a chance. 27, I'm sorry, bro. You never stood a chance. The kid's pretty good. He's pretty good. Probably ranking should be higher, but again, COVID has messed up a lot of rankings. Right here, he gets a little interception. But COVID messed up majority of the rankings this year. But I think FSU should be very pleased with this one. I don't know why teams are trying to chip this guy with running back because he destroys every running back they put on him. And man, they destroyed him right there. So as you can see, good motor. His first step isn't all that explosive, but I think he makes up for all that in his strength. I think his overall speed is good. It might just take him a little bit to get a head of steam, but once he gets the head of steam, looks like he has good enough speed and definitely have the strength that's going to translate to the next level for sure. I don't know why teams aren't trying to block him. He's good vision right there. Here he is on the edge. He didn't do much. Number 5 actually blocked him fairly decent. There you go. Nice way to get your hands up, get a hand on the ball. And that time he just shrugs number 5 off. So again, good. I think FSU should be very happy with a.k.a. Ron Hester. And that is gonna hold on. Oh. Trying to find our overall recruiting ranking. Sorry. Because right now, Florida State is number 8. And that's without getting Nico yet. We don't have Nico yet, and we're still number 8. So next year's recruiting class is it's shaping up to be a pretty good class, man. Next year's class is shaping up to be a pretty good class. Where are we at? Where are we at in the chat? What's worse, 52-10 or getting beat 7 straight and losing to a FCS school? Shout out to Tyler for posting that GoFundMe. Again, if you haven't donated, man, to the GoFundMe of Jamie Robinson, go do that. Lost his house last night, burned to the ground. I think anything you can do for him and the family would definitely be appreciated. UK fans do like to do research, I see. What's worse? And I guess if we're just gonna argue with Hurricane fans all night, I guess so. I'll let y'all have that. Have you seen Jakari and Damari Henderson highlights? They've been really nice to be unranked. South Carolina has more AC titles. That's a fact, Noel Squad. Toefili, I admit, has better vision, but Toefili can't take it 60 to 70 yards on one play. You don't have to. Le'Veon Bell wasn't a guy that took it 60, 70 yards on one play either. Not every running back can do that. You don't have to be. You don't have to be. It's too early. No need to be hyped for that ranking at 8. It is early, definitely very early. It is good to see that they're off to a positive start on the recruiting trail, though. So, again, once you add Nico, that'll get you to 5 commits. I mean, if you look at the early class, Ohio State's number 1, but they got 10 guys already. Penn State has 8 guys already. Georgia's got 7 guys already. Florida State only has 4 commits, and we're in the top 10. I mean, Alabama has 1 commit. They're 31. So, like you said, it's very early. We do know that these rankings are going to change drastically. There's no way Alabama finishes at 30. There's no way Boston College is going to end up finishing at number 9. But they got 4 4-stars. So I wouldn't. 4 3-stars, and they have 7 total commits. So some of these rankings are strictly off of the numbers, not so much off of the quality of the players. The good news about Florida State is we got one 5-star, 1 4-star, and 2 3-stars, which I expect to be 1 5-star and 2 4-stars by the end of this week, going into next week. There is one guy I want to look at, because this dude, I was looking at the recruiting rankings for 2022, and I noticed something which I actually didn't believe when I first saw it. Player rankings. Where player rankings? Team rankings. There it is. I noticed that Travis Hunter is not the number 1 DB in the nation. And I was saying to myself, I'm sitting here like, how the hell is that possible that Hunter ain't the number 1 DB in the nation? Then I had to look and see that this guy right here, if you guys can see it, hold on. I'm not sharing the screen. Let me share the screen. I thought I was still sharing it. I guess I'm not. This kid right here is the #1 corner in the class of 2022. Now, I don't see it. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to say I don't see it. I want you guys to watch this tape, then watch Hunter, and you tell me who's the better player. You tell me who's the better player. Because I watched this tape last night. Now, we're going to watch him. I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to tell you who I'm just going to I'm just going to watch it. And we're going to watch him, and we're going to watch Hunter, and we're going to see who's the better player. Sophomore highlights. That's all we got. There are no senior highlights, I don't think. Just want to make sure. All right, so we're going to watch this. Hold on. I got to end this one. And then this one. Okay. Okay. No, wrong one. Hold on. I'm going to bring it up. There he is. All right, now y'all tell me. Y'all tell me who better. Y'all tell me who better. I don't see it. I want you to watch how many times this dude actually gets burnt. It's not so much about getting beat. Like, to me, I don't even know why that one was on the highlight. Maybe because the way he hit him at a bounce. Okay, cool. Here you see him at the top of your screen and covered. Look, he gets completely blown past. Now he makes up the speed, but I mean, come on, man. I don't know. They're saying this guy's the #1 corner in the nation. And I don't know if I see it. Don't know if I see it. And I'm comparing him. I'm not saying that he's not good, but I'm comparing him to the guy that I think is the #1 in the nation. Like, some of these highlights, I'm like, okay, you made some tackles, bro, but like Hunter would have picked that one off. He dropped the interception. Travis Hunter takes that and then he takes it to the crib. Guaranteed. That's a highlight, I guess, just because he made a tackle out of bounds. That ball was so late. But again, this is your #1 corner in the nation, man. Here he is at the top, #3. That wasn't even a good ball, but okay. I want to know where's the interceptions. Right here? He gets completely blown off the line of scrimmage. Bad pass. Bad pass. Right here. Look, you see what I'm saying? Just because he made a tackle out of bounds, he gave up 50 yards on that play. What's going on, Canes for life? Maybe I'm just biased. But we're watching, and I'm trying to be fair, man. Trying to be fair. Okay, right here at the bottom of your screen, he's in press coverage. Played it pretty good there, but that wasn't even a good ball. Look at that. He gets beat off the line of scrimmage. Wide receiver, the ball was poorly thrown. Man, let's watch. I want to watch this. Hold on. We're going to watch that one again. This is your number one receiver, folks. The number one corner in the country, folks. Now watch him at the top of your screen. Watch how he gets abused. He tries to play press and the wide receiver gets him. Gets him right off the line. Bow, get off me. Now he's got him burnt. The pass was not a great pass, right? Never gave the receiver a chance. And it was a late ball. Right here, he's playing way off. I mean, guy still caught the ball. Here he is, impress at the top of your screen, impress. They tried the same play. That must have been, they tried the same play. This time he actually played that play tougher than he did the last time. Here he is in some run defense. I'm guessing he's going to return a punt here. Okay, let's see how he does with the ball in his hands, because we know how Travis Hunter is with the ball in his hands. He takes things to the crib. Human highlight reel. Okay, that was it. That was your number one corner in the country. Now, color me not impressed. That's just me. Like Tyler just said, half of his tape is him running behind guys and running down guys because he already been burnt on the play. Antonio says he's only ranked. I completely agree. That's the only reason why he's the number one. That's the only reason why he's number one. So let's take a look at the guy who I think we all think is the best corner in the country. And let's see if the tape even stacks up. I don't even think the tape compares. There he is. Hold on, let me share. Whoops. I hate when it does that. It goes to a different screen. There we go. We missed the first highlight. All right, here we go. Now you guys tell me who the better player is. First of all, it just looks like the flat out more explosive athlete. Buddy from California wasn't making those type of plays on the ball. He would have dropped that interception. Here he is, off coverage. Terrible throw, but he made the play on the ball. When Travis get his hands on the ball, he's picking it off. Not even a debate. Look at this. Again, athleticism is just on a different level than that guy from California. What is that kid's name from California again? I already forgot. He plays in a lot of cover 3. If you watch Travis, they use him in a lot of cover 3. That's him again, playing off cover 3. I don't even know if you're a quarterback, why you even test him deep. Let me guess, another interception. Every time his hands touch the ball, he catches it. That's the major difference between him and the kid that's the so-called number one corner in the country. When Travis gets his hand on the ball, he doesn't drop it. That's first and foremost. Now they play him a lot of off coverage, as you can see in this tape. They don't really use him in press, and somehow he still finds his way around the ball every time. There he is again, cover 3. As you watch the way they use him. He constantly has his eyes on the quarterback. They love to use him in zone, so it's going to be very interesting to see how they use him at Florida State. They want to keep his eyes on the quarterback. He's amazing at tracking down the ball in the air. Another interception. Now that here's some wide receiver highlights. Some people think he's better at receiver than he is at DB. Here he is, wide receiver, just running straight past. He's amazing. The way he's able to track the ball in the air and adjust his body, one of his biggest, if not best, traits. He's nasty at attacking the football while it's in the air, and then once he gets the ball in his hands, he's just nasty. Look at him. The highlight tapes, look, guys, the highlights that we watched previously in this one, they really don't even compare. Now, granted, he's playing wide receiver in this one as well, but even the DB tape doesn't even compare. I'm surprised he's not listed as just a flat-out athlete. But they got it. Look at the double move there. He's got to go. More wide receiver. His wide receiver tape is fun, but I honestly like, look at that. I like watching the DB film better. That was nasty, though. The fact that he got a touchdown on that play was ridiculous. How many tackles did he break on that one? But his DB film is I just love the way he baits quarterbacks, and the way they use him. Oh, goodbye. I guess the whole second half of this tape is all wide receiver film. Another, that double move was nasty. Go back a look. Watch your buddy here. Damn, son. Damn, son. You got guys out here just looking stupid. And right there, you can't guard that. Again, wide receiver. Does he take? And again, the difference between him and that kid in California, when he gets the ball in his hands, it's a whole different story. He's electric, takes it to the house. That other dude, But I guess, again, I'm being biased. More wide receiver footage. I guess the rest of this is just wide receiver. That's just bad defense right there. Oh, and by the way, if you go watch the Sam Horn, who's his quarterback here in these clips, if you go watch his highlight tape, his highlight tape consists of Travis Hunter doing all these same things. That is what his highlight tape consists of, is this guy doing all those same things. So look at that cushion you gave him, and you still couldn't keep up with him. You still couldn't catch him. Can't wait for him to get on campus, folks. Can't wait. As long as he signs that LOI, watch out. Yeah, I think the rest of this is wide receiver stuff. So, and right there, that's in double coverage, and he caught it. Let's watch this. I'm gonna watch this. I think this might be the last highlight of it. No, maybe like a few more highlights. Oh, made the guys run into each other. Goodbye. Oh, they tripped him up at the end. That was the last one. Someone's gonna have to explain to me how that kid ends up a better prospect than Travis Hunter. I don't see it, man. I don't see it. Domani Jackson. Yeah, I don't see where he's better than Hunter at any aspect. At any aspect of the game. Someone's gonna have to show that to me. FSU must be a big roadblock for y'all to focus. They just came in here to troll today, I guess. They just want to talk some shit today. It's all good. New King's known for it. Phil comes in here like he's your friend, and then bam, he turns on you with the quickness. So those two guys, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at either one of them guys. Um, okay, I'm gonna test Phil. Phil, what makes T Rob Phil? T Rob is a great D back defensive back coach. Okay, cool. I'm not even gonna debate you on that. I tend to agree. What is T Rob's philosophy at for DBs, Phil? What's his philosophy? What's he run? He said the kid we got, Hunter Washington from Katy, Texas, is better than that last tape. Bingo. Bump and run man. That's what everybody wants to play. Bump and run man. What did your DBs play last year, Phil? What was your defensive scheme last year? Secondary wise. Secondary wise. Phil, don't come in here lying either. It do not be my guy. My guys we be focused on what we be focused on, and you come in here with the BS like you always do. Matter of fact, if I scroll up the chat, I could probably find where you started all of this foolishness. What time is it? Well, we got about I don't know. I didn't like it though. Okay. Bump and run always sounds good. I mean, FSU, we wanted our guys to play bump and run too. Until you sit back and kind of look at your personnel and say, okay, who can really play bump and run? All right. Rose said majority of those guys you mentioned won't even be there in a few years. Kitchen's gone, be straight, and James Williams, LOL, he's going to be a defensive end. James Williams is one of the most interesting prospects. It's really going to see, like, is he going to stay a safety? How big is he going to get? Is he going to end up moving to linebacker? I'm very interested to see how they end up using him for sure, but we'll see what happens. I'm going to be on here for about 10, 15 more minutes, guys. Just realized I got some stuff I got to take care of. But that's 2 hours. So 2 hours is always good enough. So don't leave just yet. So what do we got? These last 10 minutes, let's see. What do we got? What's going to be our last talking points for the night? Let's end it on a strong note. Let's end it on a strong note. And hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button already. Blake Baker is gone, which every Kane fan wanted. It's all on Manny now. I agree with that. How's Patreon gonna work? All right, good question, Tyler. Glad you asked. So I'm gonna give you a rundown on the Patreon. Let me so I got this stuff planned out. So hold on a second. I gotta where is it at? That's not it. There we go. Nope, that's not it either. Man, this thing's kicking my ass. Hold on. There we go. So there's going to be, I'm going to read it off to you. Again, this is all in the works still. A lot of stuff that's still going to come with it. But Patreon is going to be, if you know how Patreon works, it's a tier thing, right? So you have to pay you do a little subscription, and you would, depending on how much you pay is how much you get. One of the reasons why I'm holding off on it and I'm not pushing it out there right now is, for one, I want to make sure it's worth. I'm not going to put something out that's not worth anybody's time or money, right? But there's going to be 3 tiers. The first tier is going to be called the 863 Tribe member. What do you get with that? You're going to get your early access to any content that I would put on YouTube. So YouTube's still going to be a thing. YouTube, you're still going to get your normal content. But what you're going to get on Patreon that you're not going to get as a normal YouTube subscriber, you're going to get the live game discussions, your post-game film review, your Throwback Thursdays, which is going to be, we pick an old Florida State game, we watch it together. And I can do this stuff on Patreon because I don't have to worry about, during a live stream, a copyright claim on my Patreon page. Whereas at YouTube, if I do these live reviews where I pick a game and I put it on the live stream and we watch them together, yeah, they're going to copyright my stream like they've done to me before. And it's not something I want to fight with YouTube every single week I do it. Secondly, and this is this part of it is the most important part. Monthly giveaways will happen for 863 Tribe members. There's going to be 3. So basically, this is how this is going to work. There's going to be 3 different tiers. You're going to have a $5 tier, a $10 tier, and what's the third one? A $20 tier. What comes with all these tiers? Monthly giveaways for the $5 tier. There'll be a monthly giveaway for the $10 tier, but the $10 tier will have a better giveaway for $5. So an example of what I'll be giving away for $5. I have FSU bottle openers, decals for cars. Those would be like your $5 giveaways, your $10 giveaways. I got shot glasses, things of that nature. And then $20 giveaways. I haven't decided on 21. Those are going to be very much worth your time once I figure out what I'm going to do for the 21. The 21, I'm still working out the details again. So don't too much worry about the $20. But the 5 and the 10, again, those are monthly giveaways, as well as your choice of a free t-shirt. The t-shirt designs are coming. I'm really excited about t-shirt designs. Once I reveal those to you guys, I'm gonna put, you can buy a t-shirt separately, but if you join the $5 tier, you'll get a t-shirt free, your choice of a t-shirt. $10 tier, you get everything that you get in the $5 tier, except instead of a t-shirt, you get a hoodie. So I'm doing t-shirts and hoodies, but with the $10 tier, you'll get a hoodie with your choice of hoodie. Your choice of the 3 colors are going to be white, black, and garnet, and you'll see the logos when I'm ready to reveal them. And again, with the $10 tier, monthly giveaway, but those giveaways will be better than the $5 tier. So that's essentially how the Patreon is going to work. The $10 tier is called the 863 Tribe Chief. So if you want to become a Tribe Chief, that's $10. And the $20 tier is where you get everything that you get in the first 2 tiers, except the prizes will be better, and you get a hoodie and a shirt, and that's called the 863 War Chief. Again, the Patreon page, it's up, it's ready, but it's up, but it's not ready. Still a lot of stuff working on it. So that's not something that's going to come next month, next 2 months or something. That's something that'll be in the future. So don't too much worry about it. But again, one of the reasons why we decided to come and I decided to go forward and make it was really due to the live game discussions, the post-game film reviews and stuff like that. This way I don't have to worry about YouTube copywriting me, and we can really go deep down in depth on these videos. So, and again, any other things you guys want to recommend for those tiers, we're going to do that too. But that's just the first kind of draft of it. There's going to be a lot more to come. So don't think that's all. Patreon's still in the work. As for the immediate future, we're still going to have the normal YouTube live streams. Your instant reactions are still going to happen. Everything that you see on YouTube now is going to continue to be the same. I'm not taking anything off of what you see, or I'm not taking anything that I have on YouTube now and putting it on Patreon. Patreon's only for the stuff that I can't put on YouTube without having to fight with YouTube over copyright disputes. And then, of course, if you want to try to win some prizes or buy some merchandise, that's what the Patreon's really, that's what it's for. So don't worry, I'm not taking anything off of YouTube. I'm still going to have the normal YouTube stuff. So don't worry about any of that. And again, Patreon's not it's not anytime soon. That's something that I'm working on, and that's something that I'm working towards the future on, but it's not something that I'm going to like be pushing down anybody's throat. If you don't want to do a Patreon, by all means, don't do it. It's just the future of the channel, so to speak. It's just what we got to look forward in the future. And of course, like I said, the live call-in shows are coming. Those are coming within the next week or so. So don't worry about that. The live call-ins are coming. And again, man, any other recommendations are always welcome. I try to give people what they want. Especially if you're going to be charging people, I don't think the $5 one is bad. I don't think the 10, I think, especially when you guys see these shirts, I think you're going to really like these shirts and these hoodies. But it's going to be very hard to convince somebody to pay $20, right? So you got to make it worth it. And in my opinion, once you guys see the stuff I'm giving away and that type of stuff, I think you guys will feel like it's worth it. Again, the monthly thing will go to. So let me specify the monthly thing. I'm gonna specify this one last thing, and then I'm gonna head on out. The monthly thing is gonna really be for the monthly prize giveaway is gonna be for one member of that tier. So you're not gonna get a monthly thing every week, every month. But a random. So for instance, let's just say I got 10 863 tribe members. 1 out of the 10 will randomly win that prize. That one person will not be eligible for the following month. So this way we'll try to get everybody. You won't be able to win in consecutive months. That's kind of the way I'm thinking about going about it. So I hope that answered your question, Tyler. Appreciate everybody for showing up here tonight. This one was a little quicker than I intended because I forgot I had stuff I had to do. But thanks everybody who showed in and showed out. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and I will see you guys next time. Stay classy, Seminoles. And we are out here. Y'all have a great Friday night. Might even be back on later tonight. But I got some stuff I gotta do. But I'll catch y'all. I will catch y'all later, for real.